Hello, Facebook world. Welcome, welcome, welcome today to The Insiders with Liz and Amber, brought to you by not only Giant TV, but also the Spirit Realm Network. And we are so excited today because we have an incredibly special guest with us. Her name is Miss Marybeth Haines, and she is the gal who speaks with animals. Now, we are very excited because we posted earlier on our page to post a picture of your fur baby, and Marybeth is going to give us a number, and we're going to choose one, from the page that way, and or she's going to be directed by spirit to just start chatting, bringing in that energy. So welcome, Marybeth. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, I've been looking forward to this for a while, and I'm just really happy to be here. So thanks, guys. I'm really happy.
Oh, so am I, and I cannot wait. So as always, when we're trying to connect with each other and our energy is so big, there's a lot of going on, and the energy, going through the technology to get on and off of this thing while we're all kind of connecting. So everybody, thank you so much for your patience as we logged on. And I cannot wait to see what Marybeth and all of the spirit animals have to say to us today. So Marybeth, we're just really excited to hear, tell us a little bit about what got you into this work.
That's a really good question. Ever since I was a little girl, like I had this affinity with animals. Like my mom would turn her back for like half a second, and then I'm, turn back and I'm already off to an animal, trying to pick up a cat that's bigger than I am or things like that. And there just always has been this connection. And growing up on a farm, my parents, we had tons of animals on a hobby farm. And so this, I always thought the animals were my friends. I just thought, they were my buds. I played teacher with them. I taught them things, but little did I know that they were teaching me. And little did I know that they were actually teaching me how to hear them, how to hear their voice, how to communicate. But back then I didn't know that that's what that was. It was just normal to me. And then it wasn't until, later on into my adulthood that things really started ramping up and ramping up and ramping up. And, I was always taught not to talk too much about this kind of stuff because, people might not understand. And, I'm so glad that the world is changing because, we're reawakening what's within us. And it wasn't until the last little while, several years ago, that I decided, what, this is who I am. I talk with animals. And ever since then, my life has just completely changed. And so kind of a long answer to your question, short answer to your question, that's what happened. That's how things progressed and evolved. And now that I talk with animals, I feel like I'm home. Does that make sense? Like I never felt before like I was home. And when I do this work, which isn't work, but when I do this, I feel like I'm home. So I know that I'm in the right direction.
That's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. Amazing, right, Liz? Like such great respect for you to come and connect to your authentic path. And it doesn't feel like work when you're doing something that you're connected to. So it does feel like home when you finally found your purpose. So we're so happy that you're sharing it with everybody.
Thank you. Thank you. I thank the animals. I mean, I'm just the conduit, right? Like I'm as you say, I'm the gal who speaks with animals, and that's what people have come to know me as. And yes, that's who I am, but it's really the animals that I thank for their guidance, because they're here to help us in so many ways.
So I want to point out, you mentioned that you had some, you were told when you were younger that you're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to communicate. Can you elaborate a little bit more on that for those who are watching who have the same experiences, how you overcame that?
Sure. When I was told that and taught that, my family was always very supportive. I mean, I remember my father talking about, how when you give to animals and you give them what they need, they'll give back to you. And he had a special connection with animals as well. My mom, they were always very open and sharing when it comes to, but I didn't talk to them and say, I was talking with animals or I was doing all this stuff. They just saw what I was doing and they supported it. So they were quite supportive. But when it comes to, I was brought up very in a Christian home, and I respect the Christian faith very much, and there's a lot of it that I carry with me still. There were some things that I was taught in that, however, that just didn't feel right within me. And what I mean by right, it didn't mean that I was saying, no, that's wrong and no, you're wrong or anything like that. It was more of something within me just didn't feel whole, complete. But I followed that because I thought that I would be doing wrong if I didn't. So I actually tried to turn this off quite a bit. And it frightened me, and it wasn't just with animals, it was with human spirit. There would be things, we lived in a century farmhouse, and I mean, there was a lot of activity going on in that home. And when things would happen there, I would become very frightened, because that, it's like if I could have been taught that it's okay, here's what you do when this happens, then, but that wasn't the time for me to be taught that. And I needed to learn that on my own. And I get that. And I own that. I take responsibility for that. So it took me a long time to kind of come out of the closet with this. And I remember talking to some, a friend of mine, and I remember saying, I don't know what to do. I just don't. And I remember her saying, like, just do it, I said, but what if I lose my friends? What if my family doesn't understand? What if, and I had to come to it in my own time. And I had to come to it where if I didn't start following my path, I was getting myself into some big trouble. I was starting to become ill. I was having a lot of anxiety. My body was just not conforming to what I thought I should be. When I gave myself permission to be me, to who I am and why I've come here to live as Marybeth Haines, it all fell into place, and it's still falling into place. I'm still learning. Like, I mean, just when you think you know it and you got it, no, there's more.
That's so true, right, Liz? That is so true.
You know what's so beautiful about your response, though? Like, we this generation of us ladies here, we kind of went through the school of hard knocks, learning the ropes the hard way. And there's so much more information now out there, just through the company that I have with Psychic Kids United, supporting children and their grown-ups. That in of itself is huge, but it's everywhere on the internet. It's so accepted nowadays. So kids don't have to come out of the closet, as you mentioned. So I'm so glad you did, though. Oh my gosh.
And I wish there was Psychic Kids United when I was young, because I would have oh my gosh, I just would have flocked to that, and it just would have been, and I'm so grateful that you have that, and that's out there and that's being understood now. I mean, it's a process, right? And if it wasn't for what I went through growing up, I wouldn't be where I am today. So I thank that experience, and I thank those teachings, because it's allowed me to reawaken some things that I didn't quite understand.
Absolutely. I think the same thing. Like, I had to go through the same health concerns and the same challenges. And, I suffer with autoimmune disorders. So there wasn't really clear answers. And a lot of us who are sensitive to picking up energy do suffer from autoimmune disorders, just a bunch of symptoms that aren't kind of making sense to anybody, or random symptoms. And so when I started listening to myself as well, I healed myself. I healed and was able to, I still struggle on some days, but we always will, because we have to balance our energy. And it's true what you say about you still learn and you're still growing, because you don't just get all that information and you're set forever. You have to continue to grow and evolve and learn there's more things that you're going to experience. Like I'm sure, along our way, we're going to meet new people or new animals and get more information. So what was your first experience communicating with an animal that stands out to you? One of the first ones that stands out.
I remember my dad coming home with 3 heifers. And I remember, I can't remember, but there was one that I was immediately drawn to. And there's 3 kids. So there's my brother, sister, and I. So for some reason in my head, I'm like, okay, so this one's mine, this one's my sister's, and this one's my brother's, right? So, but the one, and I can't remember her name, but I remember how kind she was. And I remember sitting with her. She was in the barn and she was sitting down, like she was lying down. And I remember coming over to her, no fear, just walking up to her and sitting on her. And then just patting her head, and she was licking my barn boot, and it was just a wonderful experience. And it wasn't necessarily words. Like I didn't hear words from her, but I felt compassion from her. I felt love from her. I felt acceptance from her, and I felt that she was there listening to me. It was the most beautiful experience that I remember as a child, that it's funny you brought that up, because I was just thinking of her the other day and I haven't thought of her in years. Yeah. And there was this frog that always came every year to, in the spring, there'd be a frog that would show up outside the house. And so, it wasn't necessarily the same frog, but in my mind it was, because every year this frog showed up for me. And this frog was such an amazing friend of mine. And again, we had such loving times together, and we hung out and we did things. And when it was time for him to go, I understood, but I cried. Like there was just these deep connections in that way.
So beautiful. So beautiful. I can't even imagine, what your pets experience being, your children in this lifetime. They must just be the happiest animals on the planet, because you can communicate completely with them. So can you give our audience an example of how you communicate with animals? How does it work for you?
Like, how does it work for me personally, or how does it work for someone to do it?
Well, I would say, how can you answer both? Can you give us like how it works for you and then how others can experience that?
Sure. Yeah. So how it works for me, because this has evolved over the last 49 years, right? So it's been happening and, kind of evolving. With me, clairsentience, so clear feeling is very a very common one with me. So I actually feel the energy of the animal when an animal reaches out to me. So instead of me kind of reaching out to an animal for communication, sometimes animals will reach out to me. And when they do that, I feel what's like an energetic latch or an energetic lock. So once I feel that, I start feeling in my chest, in kind of my heart center, this feeling of this communication. And then I turn it on, it's on, but I turn it up so I can hear it. And just like you and I are talking right now, that's how the communication happens. So it's like having a conversation. And so some animals are very chatty. And so, just like we're having a wonderful talk here, this is how we're talking. Other animals are more quiet. So they may not be as chatty. So it might not be this type of conversation. It might be more of a few words. And then all of a sudden I'm hearing an emotion, or I'm hearing things like that, or they show me a picture. So it kind of comes to me in all these different ways. And sometimes during a session when I'm doing a reading, I have to say, just give me a moment. I'm getting all these things because I'm getting a thought, a feel, a vision, all these things. And I have to kind of, okay, let's get it put together. But in saying that, one could think, just hearing me say that, saying, oh, I don't know how I'm going to do that then, because that sounds really confusing. That's just how it works for me. how it can work for anybody, because everybody can do this, right? It starts with setting an intention. It's setting that intention of wanting to hear your animal's voice, wanting to hear an animal's voice, wanting to give and receive a message. And when you set that intention, you actually create the space to make it happen. Because if you just say, I can't do this, well, guess what? You've just created that space where you can't do it. But if you were to say, you know what, I don't know if I can do this, but I'm willing to do it because I'm willing to give it a go. You're opening up that space. You're opening up that door, excuse me, to allow that energy to come. When we talk, just like we're talking now, we are exchanging energy. We are exchanging energy in the form of what we call the English language, and we're talking back and forth. When we break that down, we are exchanging energy, plain and simple. So if we we take away the English language, we take away our noises that we're making, we take away all that, and we look at what's left, the energy. That is how messages will come to and from you and your animal. And you already, if you have an animal in your life, you're already picking up on their messages. Amber, before we started, you said that your cat was already starting to get, into, I can't remember what it was she was getting into, but she was getting your attention. She was letting you know, and you were able to pick up on that. Mm-hmm. Now, of course, she was doing something physical.
She was patting out the little river rocks from the fountain.
Right.
Caught on, and I knew she was talking. So she was definitely getting our attention and knowing that it's possible all of us were going to be able to listen to her, what she had to say or what she was doing.
Exactly. And so animals are communicating with you all the time. And it's just becoming, learning how to become more sensitive on the subtleties of that communication. Mm-hmm. And when you do that, you can actually connect with your super conscious mind. So we have our conscious mind, right? We have our what helps us to have this conversation right now, which helps us to talk and articulate and all that stuff. But we also have our super conscious mind, which is that part of us that we're not taught about right now in school, that we're not taught about normally, but it's there. And it's just a matter of accessing that. I feel that my super conscious mind is behind the heart. So when I connect in that area, I'm able to start hearing the energy in a different way. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think that's, we talk all the time. The kids are always asking, how come the cats are doing this? How come the cats are doing that? So they're aware of the physical actions, or they can hear the sound with their ears. And that's when I'm saying to them, we have to start listening to what they're saying. So what does it feel? Because I'm with you, Marybeth. I think that right behind my heart chakra is where I feel everything. My solar plexus, those two. And I feel just so compelled and full of energy that it just bursts out. But I can also be inward and receive. And so when they need something, they're going to tell us. Like, they will wait for you at the door and they'll guide you to make sure they're coming. The one that was kind of batting around the stones, she's so intuitive, as most animals are. That's what they depend on, is their intuition, mm-hmm. their instincts. But she was rescuing the other cat who had been shut into a bedroom. So she kept trying to walk up to the door and look at us and come back down. So the kids were saying, I don't know what's wrong with her. And I said, okay, what do you feel like she's doing? And they said, well, we feel like she wants us to go in the room. I said, well, then go in the room. Let's see what happens, right? So we opened the door, and of course the other cat come out, and they both rubbed noses, and they were so happy, and they gave a little hug, like, the cats do, kind of hug each other. And then they were fine. But it's just their behavior, right? And maybe even the vocal sounds, because that particular Bengal cat, Sadie, she is very, very talkative, where the other ones are not. So Liz, how about your cat? What does he do? What's his personality?
Absolutely. Same kind of thing. But, I talk, telepathically to him.
Yes.
So, you know, when I go to the door and he's not there, I'll just in my mind, I'll be like, all right, Mr. Biggs, where are you? Come on, where are you? And then I'll hear a meow way off in the distance, you know, somewhere in the backyard. And it's so funny because I just know he knows, I know he can, you know, we're reading each other's minds. I already know that. And when you have a deep connection with an animal, like you, Mary Beth, I grew up on a farm as well. And so I had the benefit and the awesome opportunity to be connected to animals from a very early age. And I think it's super important for all children to have that deep connection with animals. But you just telepathically start communicating and you just know. You just know. I also do mimicking. So whenever he actually uses his vocals, I mimic exactly what he does. So like in this house is like, rah, 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 rah. We're walking around talking to each other for like 10 minutes. It's hysterical. And you're just like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm having a conversation with the cat. So it's pretty funny, but yeah, no, he's pretty interesting. Like he's new to us. Like we've only had him since February. So he's pretty interesting in that he's just totally accepted us, thank God, as his new caregivers, but he's just so independent. I love that about him. He's very independent.
Very nice, very nice. And how you said about, sorry, I have to clear my throat. I muted that for you all.
You're almost ready to start picking up energy. I feel like
I
feel like you're getting, you know, you're having to speak about somebody's cat or dog or animal that's in the feed or something. We're almost there, folks.
Yeah, it's funny how it happens because okay, you mentioned, Liz, about telepathy, and telepathy really means feeling at a distance. You're just feeling from one place to the other, and it's something that's how these messages will come through between you and the animals in your life, because that's how they communicate. They're masters at it, and so they'll teach you. Ask them to teach you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think? Are you ready to? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Amber.
No, sorry. It's me and my leg. I was going to say, I am so drawn to horses. So every single time I see horse appear in my messages, I know I'm speaking to somebody who's highly intuitive or, you know, psychic or a medium, somebody who does healing, holistic work. That's my way of representation of knowing who I'm speaking to. It doesn't mean everybody will get that same message, but when horse appears, I know I'm speaking to someone with such a genuine, authentic path. But I've always had that attraction to horses. And if anybody has a horse or has been in the presence of a physical horse, there is something so powerful and so genuine and authentic and also innocent about horses, right? Like I've always wanted to grow up on a farm, but I didn't. But you two ladies did. I don't know if you had any horses and what you feel about the difference between how they communicate or how, because they're so also they fright easy as well, right? Because they're so in tune, just like cats. The scaredy cat reference comes from, I feel, them being so in tuned that they get startled a lot, which is just like us humans. If we're too in tuned or so in tuned to stuff, we don't like the loud noises and startling things and stuff too. So have you had any experiences with horses?
Absolutely. Horses are such majestic creatures. They are amazing. Their consciousness is so awake. They've awakened so much, and a lot of them are, because of, you had mentioned they spook easy and things like that, a lot of them are very highly sensitive, and it's because of all of the energy that they're able to feel and see and know. Can I share a story about a horse that I had communication with? This horse, so I've been visiting my mom for the last several months, and she lives about 3 hours from here. And so when I drive up to go see her, I drive through Mennonite country, and there's always the horse and buggies that are going through, and I often will get that energetic latch with animals when I'm driving as well. The one day I was driving and I went by this horse and buggy, and I got the call out from this horse, And this horse was very sad, very sad. And I said, I hear you, and I want you to know that I saw you, and that was me that drove by. And I'm here. I think we lost Amber again,
I
eh?
think we did.
Okay.
We'll see if she can chime back in.
Okay.
But yeah, keep going.
Okay.
Carry on.
Okay.
Keep calm,
What's that?
I said, keep calm and carry on.
Keep calm and carry on. Love it. And so I told him that was me that drove by, that I hear him and that I'm there. Is there anything he wanted to say? And he said that he was very sad because his masters, he called them, he didn't feel that they were appreciating him. He felt he was a means to an end. He felt, now when I'm saying this, I'm sharing with you all the story from the horse's perspective. So please stay with me because the story does turn out very well. There are many horses that I've communicated with that are with Mennonite culture that are very happy at what they're doing. So this isn't about saying the horses are being mistreated or anything like that. So going back to this particular horse, he was feeling very sad, very alienated. He felt that his purpose wasn't being fulfilled. I said to him that I was so sorry that he was feeling that way, and I was there to listen. I was there to be able to help him in any way that I can. He said that he feels that he wants to do more. He wants to be acknowledged. He wants to be able to have gratitude given to him because he feels he works really hard. And so I said to him, can I ask your name? And he said, yes, it's Pierre, which is funny because it's a French name and he's a Mennonite horse. So his name is Pierre. So I said, Pierre, it's so nice to meet you. I'm Marybeth, and, you know, please keep talking. And so he continued sharing what I just shared. And I said to him, you know, Pierre, I want you to know, first of all, I acknowledge you and I thank you for everything that you do. When I just drove by you a few minutes ago, I said, you were helping the humans in your life, and you are helping your masters, as you call them, to be able to get where they needed to go. And I want to thank you for that, because if you weren't there for them, they wouldn't be able to get to where they needed to go. And he was appreciative of that. And then I said to him, I want to just share something with you. I said, there's a lot of humans on the earth that are awakening and that are starting to understand what your role is and what you're here for. And there's other humans that are on this earth that don't quite understand that yet, because they've been taught that your role is to be their transportation. So it doesn't make them bad, or it doesn't make them, you know, that they don't appreciate you. They just don't understand how that you want this, and they're not able to share that with you just because of where they're at. And he said, really? Like, he actually went, I didn't understand that. So you mean they do appreciate me? And I said, well, I can't speak on their behalf, but I'm sure they do. Like, how would they get to where they needed to go? And how would they be able to do all this stuff, you know, without you being there helping him? And he started crying.
Oh.
And I was driving. I was not, like, me, Marybeth, wasn't crying, but my body was crying. I had tears coming down my eyes, and I was helping hold that space with him so he could have that release. Nemo, my Chihuahua, excuse me, I say my Chihuahua, I'm his human. He came through and he said, I want to help. So he came through and he introduced himself to Pierre, and he said that he's all about love. And he said that he can help Pierre get that love and that acceptance, that acknowledgement that he wanted. Pierre was ecstatic. Pierre was so happy, and the tears were continuing to stream down my eyes. And then when him and Nemo connected, He got so happy, and he said that he looked at his life differently now. He knew he was appreciated. He understood how his humans were looking at him the way they were because of that's how they've been taught, and that's where they are. And he's happy doing what he's doing now. And he just needed that space to be able to release that and share it and be heard. So
Absolutely. A beautiful, beautiful story.
Yeah, beautiful.
Oh, you're back. Yay.
I'm beautiful. Or I mean, it's beautiful and I'm back.
And you are beautiful too.
Yay.
I had to go away for a minute apparently, so I'm back.
Well, we're so happy that you're back. But yeah, did you catch any of that story? If not, you're gonna have to go back and listen.
So I got most of it, but I missed about 20 seconds of it.
Aw.
Yeah, but you know what? It's because we were talking about the horse, and then her story came in, and then there's so much energy, and you know, I just got kicked out again. But I'm back.
I know, it's wonderful. So, okay, so is Marybeth still with us?
I'm still here, yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, I just lost your. Okay, there it is.
So for the people,
panicking. I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay.
for the people who are listening and watching today, it's difficult when you have people with so much energy connect onto using technology. So we're always faced with these technology, you know, snafus, but we're doing our best. We just wanted to kind of get on today and make sure you have as much education and Marybeth sharing her wisdom with us. So everybody, thank you for your patience while we do this. And yeah, whenever everybody's ready, I would love to hear if there's any connections.
Well, I can, did you want to pick a number, Marybeth? And I can pull up that number from the page.
Sure. So just give me a second here. So what I'm doing is animal energy has been with us this whole time. I always am with there. I'm always with that energy, but I also have invited that energy to join us. I'm asking that energy to come closer now. And I'm just calling upon the animal energy as we set this space. Before the call, I heard the number 9. Before we got on here live, I heard the number 9, and I'm also hearing the number 9 again. So I'm being asked to go to the 9th photo.
Perfect.
That is
I have it. Okay. I have it here. So this is Bob and Cher Tinston Gore. I'm just going to show it.
Okay.
This is Bob.
Okay.
And just for the viewers, like for the folks that are listening through a podcast, he looks like a big, beautiful golden retriever to me. He's with his fur mummy in the picture, but he's a big, beautiful golden retriever.
Got it. Got it. Okay. I've got his photo. This is Bob. Shares his mom. Okay. What a beautiful photo. Okay. All right. Okay, so as I connect with Bob at this time, so we open the door to this communication. We ask that a blessing be placed upon us. And we ask for messages of wisdom, guidance, and inspiration to be received with love, with clarity, and with divine blessings. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Bob, Bob, Bob. Okay, so I'm getting Bob. I'm getting such a loving, warm presence coming through from Bob. I'm getting huge heart, like huge. I mean, my heart just is expanding. I can't think it can expand anymore, and it's continuing to expand. So Bob is defying all the rules of expansion. He is coming forward. Okay,
honey, sorry, it's not a he, it's a she. I apologize.
Bob's a she.
Bob, it's Miss Bob.
Oh, Miss Bob.
I'm so sorry to interrupt you while you're in the middle of working.
That's okay. Nope, this is good.
Until after I had showed you the picture, and I didn't want to interrupt you. I apologize, Marybeth.
That's okay. And I'm now having technical difficulties. Give me 1 second here. Everything's all under control. You see there. Okay. Very good. Isn't that funny, eh? Once that happened, all of a sudden my stuff started falling over. And
One of them days, girls.
I know. Thank you for correcting me on that. Ms. Bob, I'm so sorry I said that you were a he. Okay, so give me a second here. Just reconnecting. Ms. Bob. So Ms. Bob is kind of like, first of all, she's totally fine. She's like very forgiving, very, very, she's bringing me back to expansion. She's like, talk more about the expansion. Talk more about how I'm loving. How about all this kind of stuff? So, okay. So I'm going to go back on that. So Ms. Bob, tell me more about that. There's something there that you were leading me to your heart. So I'm feeling that with Cher, I'm feeling that there is like, there feels like a very much like a sisterly bond here, but that Cher, that you are Ms. Bob's mom. But I feel that this is on a sisterly kind of feeling or level that Ms. Bob looks to you as. I'm feeling there is some sort of sisterly presence coming through from Ms. Bob here. So Ms. Bob, can you tell me more about this? What is this? So again, she keeps giving me this. I'm getting the word nudge. It's kind of like a nudge, and it has something to do with sister. So Cher, I'm going to ask you to see if there's something here about sister that is making sense to you, because the word sister, sisterly, and sister energy is coming through from Ms. Bob at this time. One
so
moment.
if only Cher could respond right now on the feed, on the Facebook feed, that would be great.
Yeah. There's a connection that Ms. Bob is bringing me. As I'm looking over here, I just want you guys to know I'm looking at the photo. There's a connection that Ms. Bob is bringing to me from her heart to Cher's heart. And again, this sisterly energy keeps coming with this. Okay, so tell me more about that. I'm hearing also shared from Ms. Bob that there's something about sisters being present for you, okay. Sisters being there, yeah?
Okay, so Cher has responded.
Okay.
We named her after my daughter's best friend who passed away, who was like a sister to her.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 1 second, please. So Ms. Bob is bringing through the connection of this, of your daughter's best friend. So I'm just going to ask her, just give me a moment here. So Ms. Bob, can you tell me what the purpose of this message is? Ms. Bob is saying, I'm the conduit, I am the messenger, and I would like to bring this message through. She is saying, that she is able to connect with spirit often. Ms. Bob is able to connect with spirit often. She has that ability, as do many animals, she says, but she's particularly sensitive in this area. So she's able to pick up messages that are wanting to be brought forward. She's saying that she's been wanting to tell you this for quite some time, and that she hasn't had a way in which to let you know. She's tried to let you know by certain things. So how have you because she's starting to show me how she's been letting you know. There's been times where she's been staring at you. Ms. Bob has been staring at you, and she's actually been pawing at you. And she's saying that that is partly because she's trying to say, I need to tell you something. I need to tell you something. She says that she would like that to be kind of her cue to be able to tell you when messages like this from someone in spirit comes forward. And so that, and she just says to you that you can hear her. It's just a matter of allowing that to come through. She's talking about asking your daughter to draw a picture. So when she comes to you with a message, so in this particular instance, the message is from your daughter's best friend, if I understood that correctly. So she's saying that for that message to come through, she's asking you to ask your daughter to draw a picture. If your daughter is comfortable doing so, I don't know how old she is, but if she can think about her friend and draw a picture, that message will come through.
Perfect.
I love that.
Her daughter is in the picture. That's her puppy Bob. So that she's old enough that she'd be able to absolutely write. So that's the mother.
This got it. Oh, that totally makes sense now. Okay.
Exactly.
So this is Cher's daughter.
Yes.
And this daughter's friend is in spirit.
Yes.
And Ms. Bob is, yeah, okay, I got it now. Okay. So yes, she would be old enough to yeah. So if she is open, if your daughter is open to doing this, she can draw a picture. There may be words that come through, there may be just whatever. This will, and I'm hearing practice. I'm hearing to work on the practicing of this, because the message will come through. I'm just asking Ms. Bob if there's something specific that this friend wants to share. Ms. Bob said, thank you so much. I've been wanting to be able to share. The reason why my heart is opening up so big and is so expansive is because that is what is on the other side of life. She's saying that that is what's on the other side of life. Love has no limit. It doesn't end. It just keeps going and going and going. She's saying that that is what this friend is bringing forward. She wants, okay, so just one moment. Ms. Bob is saying that this friend, something to do with a flower, because I'm seeing this flower, wow. Something to do with a flower. This friend is, it feels like there's a picture of a flower. There's some sort of picture with a flower, of a flower, or drawing a flower. There's something to do with a flower. And that okay, so one moment. I am with you always. Our friendship still exists. We are not apart. We are connected soul to soul. It is not of wrongdoing that I passed. It was my time. And now, as I guide from spirit, I am still very much with you. Ms. Bob is an open connection for me, because she's giving you the love that you are wanting to feel from healing of my loss. And because I am here in the form of energy, I want you to know that I'm not gone. I'm still very much here. The essence of who I am is with you. And Ms. Bob is my connection to be able to share that love with you. Ms. Bob is very open. Ms. Bob is very connected. And I would like to ask that you honor that gift within her, because she is there to be able to help you not only with this healing, but other healings as well. the experience of what you have gone through in my passing, and the experience of what you're going through in life is teaching you to be a better version of who you are, is teaching you how to be that better version of who you are. And just like when we would play with, so this is Marybeth talking right now because it's cut in. I'm seeing something from my childhood. So it's reminding me of some sort of doll, something that would make you feel like you either played together as children or when you were a child, that you played together. She's coming back through, 1 second. And to bring back that child fun, to bring back the fun that we used to have together. Because when you bring that back into your life, it's going to help you with the purpose that you've come here to be. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Okay, thank you for bringing that forward. Thank you. I'm being shown the flower again, and there's something about a flower.
You know what I love? I love that, well, you know, you're connecting, I'm connecting. And I can see the things just minutes, like seconds before you're saying them. So I absolutely love that when I work and collaborate with other intuitives, because I was seeing that. I was seeing it as a portrait or a tattoo or some sort of picture of a flower. And then when you said about play, I kept feeling like this really strong connection to her sacral chakra. And that's where our play is, our reproduction, our creation, and to honor her inner child and to really connect within and create, because there's new beginnings coming for her. And it just, oh my goodness, I'm so happy that you brought that through, because all of that was being filtered through at the same time. It's so magical. It's
really is
so
yeah,
crazy.
I'd like to add into that. I totally got the same thing as you, Amber, but I saw a daisy was the flower that I saw, and I actually tuned into tattoo as well.
Wow.
So I'm wondering if Mom could give us that, if Cher could give us some insight onto that. But yeah,
so beautiful. Also,
beautiful.
Miss Bob's energy really trying to, you know, I find too in life when we name somebody after someone, whether it's a human or, you know, a people, or if it's an animal, it really does connect that soul to them.
I just got, Cher's just saying her friend had a daisy tattoo on her arm.
Awesome.
Beautiful. Okay. So that's where, I love how we all work together.
I know.
That's just, oh.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
I love it. Love it. The collaboration. Wonderful. So how are we doing for time, Amber? I'm so sorry I don't have my clock around.
I think we have approximately 10 more minutes, as long as Marybeth's time is being honored.
I'm good. Thank you for asking.
Okay.
Perfect. So did you want to try another one, Marybeth? Or?
Sure. Yep, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Do you want to pick a number then between, well, you know, you pick a number, actually, not between anything, just pick a number.
I'm just going to connect with the animal spirit. I'm going to ask them, because I love it when they lead, because when they lead, we always go in the right way. So four.
Okay, that's Mr. Oscar, and Alana is his mommy, and he is alive. And I think he's 2. I think she's got 2 and alive. So I must be 2 years old.
Okay, so Oscar, Alana is his mom.
Alana Bauer.
Oscar's a male.
Yeah.
1 second, I'm just going to... can I just see the photo?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Here's me. I'm like, okay, come on, let's go, girls.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, photos really help me connect.
Of course they do.
So.
And this is like a border collie mix, or, you know, like a
shepherd.
He's an Australian shepherd?
Shepherd, an Australian shepherd.
Australian shepherd. Brown and white, absolutely stunning looking dog. With a big, beautiful smile on his face in the photo.
Got him. One moment. Okay, So it is my divine intent to connect with Oscar at this time. Oscar, my name is Marybeth, and I'm just reaching out to you energetically. Yes, yes, I hear you. Yes, yes. Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so right now, Oscar's energy is feeling a little quiet to me. So I'm just reaching. So what I'm doing is I'm kind of reaching out my energy a little bit towards Oscar. I'm just asking him if he wants to kind of meet me halfway. I'm getting quiet from him, very quiet. So Oscar, can you tell me a little bit more about the quiet part? Because I'm really feeling from him that there's something that I'm getting from him. So again, this could be Oscar, or this could be Oscar sharing a message about someone. So what I'm getting from Oscar is that there's either himself or someone that is coming forward, feeling a little sad, actually. I'm feeling kind of some sadness, and I'm feeling so not wanting to come forward. So Oscar, can you just tell me, thank you, first of all, thank you so much for this. Can you just tell me, is this your feelings that you're bringing forward? It is. And is it of someone else as well? So is this your feelings of sadness? Yes. Is this anybody else's feelings of sadness? Yes. Can you tell me whose feelings of sadness this is? My mom? Okay. And are you feeling sad because of mom feeling sad? Yes, I am. Okay. Okay. So can you share a little bit more about what this is about? My mom tries really hard, he says. She tries so hard, and I see how she's doing so good, but she's not allowing herself to see the same. Okay. So is there something that you're bringing this forward because you want to help or do? Well, I'm wanting to help her, and I am helping her, but she's not seeing what I see. Okay. So what do you see? Oh my goodness. I see my mom as this vibrant, beautiful woman. She is so strong. She has this fierceness inside her that is so powerful, but she's not wanting to accept that within her. Okay, so what do you mean by fierceness? Well, she has this ability to be able to really go where she needs to and where she wants to, but she doesn't feel that it's her responsibility to be able to do it. She kind of talks herself down from it. Okay. Is there something specific that you're talking about? Yes. Okay. Because we're live here, I'm feeling from you that it's maybe something to keep private. Yes. Okay. And so we'll keep that private. What is your message for mom? I really want her to know that she has it. She's got it. I see it. She's got it within her. It's there. And if she can believe in that part of her, that she can do this, she can be this, if she can honor this within her. I show her every day. I show her by being a good boy. I show her sometimes I'm not a good boy, and I do things to get her attention. And I do that on purpose, because that for me is telling her, look, if you get off course, you just get right back on. If you get off course, you just come right back on. And so I really want her to know that. I just love her so much, and it is my role to be here to help her see that. So Oscar, can you, I just wanted to ask you, you had said that you feel sad yourself. So are you taking on this sadness for mom? I am. Okay. Is it helping you to take on that sadness? Well, I don't feel good about it. Okay. The reason why I'm asking, Oscar, is because sometimes especially as an empath, because I know you are very empathic. I, as an empath, sometimes will take on stuff that my mom's going through too. And I find that when I take on her stuff, I start not feeling good.
Mm-hmm.
But when I allow her to have that stuff, but I can still be there for her and I can still help her without taking that on, then I can feel good. And mom actually starts feeling better. Does that make sense, Oscar? Yeah, how can I do that? Well, when you're saying all these things that you see in mom and that you remind her all the time. So if mom's listening to this, she'll know that. And maybe we can ask mom if she would be open to realizing that those are your messages to her. And by doing that, you can allow her to still feel what she's feeling, because this is her path, and this is her journey. And you can be there to help remind her so that she can work on where it is she wants to go from there. Because it's really her responsibility, right? Yeah, he says, yeah, he just really wants to help. Oscar, thank you for wanting to help.
Mm-hmm.
You're such a good boy for wanting to do that. You can help your mom best by being who you are. Because when you're you, you can help her be her. I want to make sure, though, that she's got my message. So we have shared it. Is there any other message you want to say? No, that was it. I just want her to know that she's got that within her. Okay, that's good. And I've shared that because we've talked about it now. And thank you so much, Oscar, for bringing that forward. Oh, I feel better now. I feel so much better now. And Oscar's energy is much more vibrant and much more like he's met me more than halfway now. And so he's just a beautiful boy. And I thank you for sharing this and for helping your mom, Oscar. And I share this message and share it with the intention of love.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Marybeth. That's beautiful. And it's so lovely to hear how empathic their messages are coming through you. Like I can feel the love, like I can feel the heart chakra being activated as you deliver and as you speak, and it touches the heart with those messages. And animals truly do already have that unique ability to touch someone's heart and soul. And that the beautiful quote someone once said, like, you don't truly know love until your soul has been touched by the love of an animal or something to that effect. But beautiful because it does, your messages really do help, and they bring through and they do touch the heart.
I have to tell you, Alana has said thank you so much. But I have to tell you, I had posted on the Insiders, the original post that we were doing the show today on Facebook. And Alana was the first person to post the picture of her dog. So clearly her dog, Oscar, was like, get that up there, Mom. I have a message for you. And then I had to say to everybody, okay, go to the next one, because we needed their name and everything. So I wanted everyone to be grouped in the same thing. And so she showed up as number 4 on that. What are the chances, right? So I don't know about everybody else. I mean, I was chiming in on the page, and we were all crying while you were talking.
Yeah.
We were all feeling that very emotionally. I had to wipe away tears a couple of times. So I'm sure the viewers and listeners are feeling the same energy. That was so beautiful. Thank you so much for doing what you do.
It's very profound.
Thank you for this opportunity to be able to share and to be this conduit. I think the animals for bringing this forward, they come forward for a reason. And thank you, Amber and Liz, for creating this space in which we can share in this way. I'd love to do this again sometime.
And you have an open invitation, right, Dave?
Absolutely. I think our fans will be hoping that we give her a regular spot, I'm sure.
Absolutely. And you know what? If you need more of Marybeth Haines, the gal who speaks with animals, we are going to post her contact information in our feed so that you can contact her if you feel compelled and drawn. And as well, Marybeth, you are also joining us at the Spiritual Excellence Halo Awards
Yes.
as one of our featured speakers, and you're going to be talking all about animal communication. So if you haven't gotten your ticket to that, come, and even if it's just to hear Marybeth and all the other beautiful people spread that spiritual education and wisdom, and to bring you that heartfelt connection, so that you can feel the soul of animals and how Marybeth does it. So I'm so excited to have you come and join us for that as well.
Thank you. I'm so looking forward to it. And I just posted on Facebook the other day, I think it was 20 something more sleeps. I can't remember what it is, but I'm counting down the sleeps because I just can't wait.
It's so quick. And yes, and Liz is going to be there, and you're going to be there, and it's going to be beautiful. So definitely an amazing group of spiritual leaders in the world joining us. And we look forward to hearing more about what you're sharing with us on that day. And thank you again for joining us today to bring those beautiful messages. So yes, it was beautiful. Oscar was determined he was coming through today.
It was determined.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I should just add, we'll post in the lineup as well if anybody's interested in attending the Halos. It's an online event for those of you who are wondering, and it's going to be amazing. The lineup of speakers, are just incredible. There's a live psychic, psychic medium, Jane Lane is going to be there, who we're going to be interviewing on the show as well. So you'll get a chance to meet her as well. But yeah, Marybeth, you're amazing. We love you.
I love you guys so much.
So much. Thank you so much, everybody. We will get Marybeth's contact info and Halo's info, and we will see you again next time.
Bye,
Bye, everybody.